Well, welcome to Whittier and our 100th year anniversary. We are so grateful for all the people who have played a part in making this school the great place that it is today. We're also really excited to share with you interviews and research that our students have done. As you walk the halls of Whittier, we really hope that you feel the love and spirit that has sustained our school for the last 100 years. Welcome to Whittier and enjoy our 100th year anniversary celebration.
What year did you start working at Whittier and how many years have you been working here?
I started working at Whittier in 1989, and so this is my 34th year teaching.
In the 100 years of Whittier, you've been here for 1/3 of them. That's impressive. How has it always been a middle school?
Well, when I first started here 34 years ago, it was a junior high, so we had 7th, 8th, and 9th graders here. Previously, it had been a kindergarten through 8th grade school, an elementary school, and so that's why some of the drinking fountains are kind of short on the wall and not as typically as tall as the 8th graders need them to be.
So what years were all of you at Whittier?
I'm the first one, so I'm the oldest. So I was here, the last year it was a junior high in 1990, and then it transitioned to middle school my second year, so I went from 90 to 92. Mm-hmm.
And I went from 91 to 93.
I was here from 97 to 99. I don't know if math is right, but I think from 05 to 07. I think that's when I was here.
Yeah, I think so. I was here from 08 to 011. No, to 2011.
As you walked into the building, did it seem the same as you remember it?
It seemed different. It seemed smaller. I definitely remember it being bigger, and I feel like I remember more windows when I walk up to the front of the building.
Does the neighborhood around Whittier look the same?
I think the Whittier neighborhood has done a great job of adding murals and bringing color to the neighborhood. So that is something that I've seen as an improvement.
So do you guys have any favorite subjects, and what were the worst subjects you guys had?
Favorite and worst?
Yeah.
Gym was great. Gym was always great.
It
Yeah.
was easy then.
We're a big athletic family, so gym was probably all our favorites.
Yeah.
And then I'd say my second would have been math. I love math.
For me, it was science.
Science?
Yeah, I had Mr. Henny for science. It was a good time.
I had Mr. Wilson. Back in the day, social studies with Mr. Benedict.
Oh,
Also had a closet where he opened up that was full of candy that
Oh,
you could
yeah.
buy.
because of the Wolverine Club.
During
The
class.
store
So you
used
could
to
buy
have-
you could buy candy and soda, whatever you wanted, in his closet in social studies. So that made that a favorite class.
I forgot about that, yep.
Art was definitely.
Do you guys still do, yeah, does it still have Wolverine Club? No? Okay.
Wolverine Club? Isn't there fake cash you get?
Yeah.
I don't think
you
I
get
got
some
fake
stuff.
cash.
What was your favorite class when you were at Whittier as a student?
Well, that's going to surprise a lot of people who know me. My favorite class here was probably home ec. And it wasn't because of the content of the class, it was because of the two teachers in the classroom. I built a relationship with them, and it was terrific, and I enjoyed going to that class every day. Not because I like to cook or because I sew, because I don't. It was because of the teachers.
Can you share a favorite memory of a student, an activity, a teacher?
I think my favorite memory here was probably going to the after-school program. I spent the whole time here after school playing with my friends, hanging out, doing whatever they were doing. So I think hanging out after school with my friends was the best memory.
Did you play football?
Yes.
Did you guys actually win at football?
Yes, we did. We actually, I think my 8th grade year we lost once. But other than that, yeah, we were solid.
Do you guys do any sports other than gym?
When we were here,
Right now?
or when we were here at Whittier? Yeah, we're retired. So what did you play when you were in sports here?
I did track, basketball, and football.
Yeah, I did everything too, track, basketball, football.
Naveen?
I did volleyball, basketball, track.
I ran track, I played football, and I played basketball here as well.
And I did basketball, I played football, and I ran track.
You played football?
Oh, sorry! No, sorry, I watched them play football. No, I played volleyball, basketball, and I ran track. My apologies.
So I heard that you were a teacher. So what year, what part of your school did you really think that you wanted to be a teacher? Probably about 8th or 9th grade.
8th or 9th?
Yep, I had an English teacher named Mr. Gary who inspired me to go into English.
Do you guys have a favorite memory here at Whittier? Something that just stuck with you guys.
I have a good one. So when I was at Whittier, like food drives were real big. So there was always a in-city competition between the Alumni middle schools at the time. I remember we won one, and I think it was 104.7. Said any school that did a school drive, like a fundraiser or a food drive that brought in the most food, they would host a party at the school, like a dance. So that was one of my fondest memories because we actually had our student body have to figure out how to make it happen because for a while there we thought we weren't going to get it, and then it happened, and we literally had, I can't remember the people. Do you remember back in the day, 104.7?
The radio?
The radio DJs, because they were here and they did a radio show from Whittier, and we had a dance in the gymnasium.
Yeah, Hot 104.7
Yes.
is still going strong.
Yes,
It
is. They are.
Radio's still a thing.
They are.
Well, I actually remember one. I don't know if Miss Levan still teaches here. Oh, she retired. But she was my pro-time teacher in 8th grade. And she would take us to that little bakery down at the corner and buy us donuts every once in a while. So I remember just walking over there and we would get those little Mexican donuts, and I loved them. And that was yeah, she was just always so nice about that, and we did that a couple times. But it's nice. Sad that she retired now.
So I guess my favorite memory would be I got a couple. One would be it's kind of a weird memory, but just football. Every day for practice, we just walked down that alleyway.
Yeah, the
I don't
alley.
know why. I always thought that was kind of cool, just to walk
down the alley.
Now walking back after practice wasn't fun. Walking to it was fun, but that was a good memory. Second one was the gym. We had this. Does it still have the stage?
Yeah.
In the main gym?
Oh, no.
It's blocked off. Yeah, they turned it into classes.
Oh, it's classes.
That's why I was confused by that. Okay, so there used to be a stage where those classrooms were, and I don't remember my gym teacher, but he took mats and made a maze within there.
Yes.
And so we always played a maze, like tag, within the mats. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was fun.
I remember that.
I'd say my two favorite, and it was funny because I had posted that Whittier's having the 100th anniversary. We have time capsules that are buried outside Whittier. And we were talking about that. We were trying to remember, so I think that would be it was fun that I remember putting it together, but it'd be fun to see what is actually in it because we don't remember. My second favorite was when we decided for the yearbook to actually create a human W. So we gathered all of our students and went to where the teachers parked, and we created a big W, and we had a cameraman come in from the top of Whittier and capture it. So that was the cover of our yearbook.
For me, they're definitely going to be sports related because that's about all I remember from my time at Whittier. The school's important though, but my 8th grade year, we won the city title in basketball. We won the city title in football, and I had the opportunity. I won 4 city championships in track and held 3 school records that I don't think are held anymore. I think they're all gone, but at one point we held quite a few records here at Whittier that we were really proud of. So those are all great memories.
But that stage that you were talking about, when we had school dances, I remember that.
That's where the DJ was.
That's where the DJ was, but students used to go up there and dance
That's also where they did the lip sync show.
Yeah. They used to go up. That's when the Dougie and the Soldier Boy were really popular. So that's where you would go and you would do that.
That was you guys. That's a bit different.
Yeah. So that's what I remember about that stage.
For us guys, I don't know if you guys get to play it, but mat ball, that was also a very fond memory.
I don't remember that. I remember in high school.
I played mat ball here too.
I played mat ball here too. Yeah.
How long did you teach at Whittier Middle School, and what did you teach?
I taught at Whittier for 28 years, from I think it was 1980 through 2018. And I taught science the entire time I was here. Sometimes I taught 7th grade science, and in that case it was life science. Sometimes I taught earth science, 8th grade science, which earth science. I'm not sure what it is anymore, but always in science.
Can you share a memory that you had here?
After 28 years, I've got lots of great memories. I suppose the best feeling and memories I have are of the people I met along the way. My work colleagues, Mrs. Nelson, Mr. Henning, Mr. Wilson. We always have a great time down in science, and I think that always came across to students as well. Science is a great academic subject, but it was also a fun place to be. Mrs. Nelson, who still teaches here and is your teacher, was right next door to me. So I would often bop into her classroom during her class and come back into my classroom and vice versa. And I can tell you I had lots of birthdays throughout the course of the year because Mrs. Nelson would come in singing with her kids. And my favorite element in 8th grade is boron. I would bust into the classroom and say, boron, when they were studying the periodic tables of elements. So we had a blast, and it's just the fun and the relationships that I built here that I remember the most.
Okay, to keep the story straight, I worked on the railroad on the summer before I started the 8th grade. Milwaukee Railroad, driving, of course, the railroad cars that hauled them into work. So I had a very good experience. I got paid foreman's pay, although I was only 14 years old. And so when I got home and started school, I bought a car because I saved my money. I paid $110 for a 1930 Model A, two-door, which was a pretty nice car, considering it wasn't that old. And so I drove it to school. I'm the only person that had a car at the school. The principal and the teachers, none of them had a car. I was very famous when school was out, or at the end of the day, because most of them would like to have a ride downtown. And so I loaded it up with teachers and so forth. Mrs. Wilson was my 6th grade teacher there, who liked me very much. And she used to give me rides in her dad's Pontiac, which was a 4-door. And now I don't remember their names, but the kindergarten teacher was really cute. And I really liked her, although I was very young.
What have you gone up to do since you left Whittier?
After Whittier, I went over to Washington, obviously graduated, remained friends with a ton of the people that I was friends with in Whittier. My best friend, I met her here at Whittier. After high school, I went to college, went to school for criminal justice, played college soccer, and then I said I was never going to be a police officer and wanted to do more corrections. And then after college, worked at DSS for a little bit and then applied for the position here. And now I work at George McGovern as the SRO there.
Well, I was an English teacher for 42 years, and 38 of those years were at O'Gorman High School, but I'm retired now. I've been retired for 4 years.
So I attended Washington High School, graduated there in 2016, and then I went to USF to play football. Just finished up playing football this year, and I'm still doing my graduate classes, so I'll be graduating in May.
So I currently work at Avera Behavioral Health. I graduated from Augustana University in 2018 with a psychology degree, and I now help our inpatient units by educating. So I'm a clinical tech educator, meaning that I lead new employee orientations, and I teach about therapeutic communication, and we also focus on reducing suicide, and preventing suicide is a big part of my job. And then I just help with education needs throughout the building, and I'm currently in a certificate program to become a community health worker to help our patients in new ways by leading new groups and trying to help people stay well after their inpatient stay in the hospital.
Well, I went to Washington High School, then I went to South Dakota State. And after that, I worked at Wells Fargo and then did insurance for about 4 years. Now I'm in mortgage, so that's where I'm at.
So I also graduated from Washington High School. Then I went and got my undergraduate master's at South Dakota State University. I taught there for a while, and then now I've been with Wells Fargo for 15 years doing home mortgage lending.
So obviously Washington High School as well. South Dakota. Yeah, I went to South Dakota State, ran track, got a scholarship to run track at South Dakota State. After that, I started with Wells Fargo as well. I'm the head of the commercial bank for North and South Dakota for Wells Fargo. I've been there, just under 21 years now.
Also, again, running theme, Washington High School and South Dakota State, and I've been with Wells Fargo for 12 years, and I do mortgages as well for Wells Fargo.
There's lots of running themes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's the only
I
black
went
sheep.
to Washington High School as well at SSU, and I said our family had too many bankers. So I went a different route, and I am a nurse at Avera McKinnon, and I also teach for SDSU. I teach clinicals. So I do bedside nursing and I teach clinicals.
We currently use the phrase Whittier Pride. What does Whittier Pride mean to you?
Well, I think originally Whittier Pride came to be because a pride is like a pride of lions or a pack of animals that sticks together. And so we have that family here. Once you're Whittier, you're always Whittier. And so just having pride in yourself first, and so that you can also become together as a pride and be proud of your school.
Whittier Pride means that we are proud of being Wolverines, that we're proud of the school that we go to, we're proud of the education that we're receiving. We just have a sense of pride that allows us to act respectfully and carry ourselves in a way that makes others impressed by how we carry ourselves.
I think Whittier Pride is all the great successes that I see from former Whittier students and teachers. Dr. Robertson was nominated and won Teacher of the Year not very long ago. That's a great example of Whittier Pride. I just saw recently that a group of Whittier kids with Mrs. Miller were at the pavilion for the tree lighting ceremony. That's Whittier Pride. I see Whittier Pride in action all over the community of Sioux Falls, and I think it's a success. It's a feeling of taking ownership in a place and in a building, and I think teachers and kids in this building have a tremendous sense of pride.
I think what you kids have to remember is Whittier is one of the oldest middle schools in Sioux Falls, right? So a lot of this city was built off of kids that came from Whittier. A lot of the leaders that are in the community today, a lot of the business leaders, a lot of the community leaders are graduates of Whittier Middle School or Whittier Junior High School. So I think Whittier Pride is just that, is you guys should be proud of being a part of that history, being a part of that next generation of kids that come out of their school that go on to do great things. I think that's something I would be proud of if I was as a former Whittier student, as for you guys as well, that you guys have the opportunity to kind of take it to that next stage.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because like just look at us, for example. Our parents were refugees. We all came here, and Whittier was a common theme in our early education. Of course, we all went to Washington and SDSU, but like my brother said, the legacy of what was here, what you learned about yourself here, and how you present yourself to your future in terms of what effort you put in, really came from here. Because walking through that alley and going to practice was fun. After practice, you saw how tough you were because you're a little bit beat up, but you learn about yourself in middle school. And again, Whittier Pride was, I'm proudful to say I went to Whittier. So.
Yeah. As I say, I mean, when I think of Whittier Pride, and we used to always say that too, and it comes back to like what my Sorok said, is that a lot of us came from harder times, like we're working class parents who never had an education, and then when we came here, we had such amazing teachers. I mean, I couldn't name all of them. They were all so great. So you were proud that you had teachers that cared for you. We had amazing classmates that supported each other, and so when you look at that, like the accomplishments of food drive, or just having city championships, like we were proud to represent Whittier, and so that trickles down into your life, right? As you get into adults and so forth, and you can look back and say, I'm proud that I was part of this school, and then I was able to make an impact, not only in my school, but in my community, so.
Yeah, I mean, history was definitely the first thing that came to my mind about Whittier Pride, because I feel like a lot of middle schools don't have the opportunity to say that. I think one of the big things that I got out of here is diversity too as well. Learned a lot from it. I think that's one of the biggest things that Whittier has that they can use for that opportunity in the future for you guys. So.
Sucks when you're the last one to go. They all take your answers. I agree with what all of them said. I think coming from Whittier, like I had a great experience here. I'm proud that I went to Whittier. I have no problem with it. like Seti said, I think the diversity factor was big. We also went to Washington. That's also a very diverse high school. And when you're around that, I think you, as a person, you just grow because you're not limited to exposure or anything like that. So being from Whittier, you should always be proud. It's a good school. So.
And your friendships will last a lifetime.
Yes.
We all have friends from Whittier
Yep.
still that we still hang out with.
Yeah.
I just always think of, I guess, accountability for Whittier Pride and being, that's something that I've always tried to strive for, was accountability. I guess that's kind of the main thing to me, and I hope students are accountable for their actions, and I've always been accountable for myself, obviously.
The district is thinking about making a new Whittier building. Where do you think they should build it?
I definitely think new buildings should be in this Whittier neighborhood. Downtown is revitalizing so much, and there's a lot of homes around here that are being updated, and I think a lot of young families will move here if there's a brand new school, so it's a really exciting time.
I think that Whittier Pride will follow to the new building, and I think we need a new Whittier. Though these halls have been around for hundreds of years, 100 plus, some of them, it's time for a new building in this area. I think it should be in this area. Maybe down at the field right down here, and then just flip-flop places for the field and the new building. I've been in many, many new buildings in the district, and they're beautiful and they're nice and they're gorgeous and modern, and the kids and the teachers and the staff here at Whittier deserve that too. Whittier needs a new building, even though we have lots of pride and tradition here at Whittier, and I'd be the first to say that. It will follow into the new building. It's not the building that has the pride, it's the people within the building. So I guess I'd like to see it near here and be called Whittier and take with you all the pride and tradition into the new building.
If there were a time where they had to change a location or something, I think now would be the time, but I wouldn't want it to go far. I'd like them to just move it to the football field or something, but you know, whatever they have to do, I think they do a good job doing it.
It's a tough one. Because
It's an easy one. Old buildings need to get redone.
Commercial banking, yeah, this is
things happen, right? But you know,
The more lighting, the better.
here's what I would tell you about anything else, right? It's like living in a home, or going to an older building, anything like that. The memories are not the building, right? The memories are the people. The memories are the things that the kids and the teachers and everything that you guys gave to the school. That doesn't go away by going to a new building, right? I think a new building gives you guys an opportunity to have a better facility, newer facility, opportunity to do new things and try new things and start a new, again, you guys are the next generation, right? 100 years, I think you said Whittier is almost 100 years old or is 100 years old. That's a heck of a good run, right? But I can tell you this building hasn't changed much from when I was here.
The clocks are the same.
You know, I would,
the clocks are the same.
Yeah, I would love to see a new school for the kids for the future. I'm always in support of that.
Oh, yeah, I'll support that.
And here's the thing is like, so when I was part of 2 transitions, junior high to middle school. So I went from the youngest to the oldest. And then I was also the first freshman class of the new Washington High School. And I remember back then, everybody's like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna let go of this old building? This is historic. Well, now we've made it and created a beautiful pavilion. And now I'm proud, and I know all of us are, that we went to the new Washington High School. And now that one holds a lot of memories and sentimentals. But one thing I know is even in the transition, we still have alums from the old Washington whose teachers there, whose grandkids go to Washington, and they talk about the old Washington and we talk about the new one. So I think that will be the same concept. Like I said, like he said, everybody deserves a high-end facility to learn in, but I feel like we will create new memories, but we'll never forget what originally started here at the original Whittier. So I'd hope they will do something historical with this building to still keep the pride in it.
No, I had a lot of fun times here, a lot of good friends, great teachers. I mean, everybody I had, I remember the principal was an older guy. We never saw him too much. His name was Mr. Bissell, and he drove a pink Cadillac. It was cool, yeah, and so a lot of good teachers. Mr. Reed, a PE teacher, Mr. Miedema. The only thing I didn't like about PE, we had to climb those ropes, and those ropes went all the way up to the ceiling. And you know, and there'd be on a mat about this, like this on the floor, so if you ever fell, I could barely get like 10 feet off the ground, and it's like...
Yeah, nowadays we have a bunch of rules.
Oh yeah, you can't do anything to get... You don't want to get hurt. Yeah, we had to have dancing. Did you have dancing?
They just recently made a dance team. I think.
No, you didn't have dance in PE class?
Yeah, oh no.
Oh, we hated it. Okay, they get the guys up on one side, the girls lined up on this side, and then you'd count down. And you go, Abraham, you're about the 5th one down. And then you count over here on the girls, count down about 5. And that'd be the one. Then you'd meet in the middle, and that's who you had to dance with. Oh, man.
You'll have to do like partner dancing?
It was partner dancing, brother. And it was stressful. I mean, I didn't like it because I can't dance. So no, that was a memory that I want to forget about.